Here's a modern-day tale of two cities, San Francisco, California, and Austin, Texas. They're both large American cities famous for their trend-setting tech sectors and cultural scenes. For Austin, this is the best of times. For San Francisco, it's more like the worst.
New data shows San Francisco's population has dropped for the fourth consecutive year.
Shows the city has the largest percentage population drop.
San Francisco region leads the area in the number of people fleeing the big city since the pandemic.
Meanwhile, not only is Austin growing, but rental prices are falling. I took a trip to the capital of the Lone Star State, where you can rent a gorgeous apartment for about half as much as the same unit would cost in San Francisco.
I had a one-bedroom in San Francisco, a lot smaller. I didn't have an in-unit washer dryer.
Alim Virani is an engineering manager at Etsy who moved here from San Francisco during COVID.
Here I'm living in the heart of downtown, wonderful views, two-bedroom, really sprawling, modern building. So I'm getting way more for a little bit more.
So why in Austin have prices dropped even as more people come seeking apartments? To help answer this question, I turned to Jake Wegman, a professor from the University of Texas at Austin who specializes in housing affordability and real estate development. How did Austin pull off, growth in population and a decline in rent prices?
So there are a number of things. An important one, just an example, is that in Texas, counties are prohibited from zoning outside of city limits.
So that means that a developer, outside of Austin, say, there's a bunch of unincorporated areas, and a developer can kind of just go in and say, you know what, we're going to build 100 units.
That's right.
Like, who governs that then?
Well, there are some regulations. It's just a whole lot less regulated than probably just about any other state in the country.
San Francisco, on the other hand, along with New York City, has the most regulated housing market in the country.
I believe in my heart of hearts that most people in San Francisco want to do good by young professionals, the middle class, young families. There's something that's gone awry. When you've got prices that only allow for millionaires to access the American dream of homeownership, and the fact is that you need to be able to unlock missing middle housing at scale.
Nicole Nozick is a Berkeley transplant who moved to Austin in 2019 with her husband, PayPal co-founder Luke Nozick. She heads up a nonprofit that's fighting to slash red tape so that it becomes even easier to build here. And her movement is succeeding.
A vote against home is a vote against the middle.
You take a look at places like City of Austin. After 45 days of waiting for the city department to give you your permits back, you can then go to an engineer or you can go to an inspector to work on the permits to be able to speed up some of that backlog.
How do you do that in California?
Well, I think we can look at California at how not to do that.
Right.
In San Francisco, it takes 627 days to get a single permit. That's a long time. It's almost 2 years.
That helps to explain why San Francisco managed to add just 1,800 units in 2023. Meanwhile, Austin added 13 times as many. Homebuyers face the same dynamic.
In San Francisco, you have a musical chair situation where you have maybe 10 people that are all bidding on 3 homes. Well, unsurprisingly, those 3 homes are going to get massively bid up, far more than what they really should be.
The supply of market rate rental housing in San Francisco is limited by the fact that more than 2/3 of all tenants live in rent-controlled units priced way below market, so they never leave.
Also maybe from San Francisco, and I'm like, I need a bigger place.
Right.
Well, I've been rent stabilized. Now the apartments have completely gone up because they haven't been building housing. And the effect of that is I'm stuck in my place.
And if the rent is stabilized, in your experience, does that mean the landlord puts less into it?
Yeah. So my landlord, for example, didn't really have an incentive once I got in to do renovations or offer amenities or upgrades to the apartment building. From his angle, I wasn't gonna pay more rent, so what is he competing for, right? If anything, the incentive is entirely me to stay in that place for as long as possible, even if I want to change a neighborhood or if I want to get a bigger place or a smaller place or something different.
In Texas, rent control is illegal.
Austin has a vibrant community that is building housing, that is advocating for more housing. And so you don't have rent stabilization, but what you do have is rents are stabilizing naturally through the influx of more units and responding to people's demands for those units.
The idea is that a lightly regulated housing market benefits everyone. And in Texas, a belief in this approach transcends party lines.
The county that we're in, Travis, was a Kamala Harris plus 42 or 43 point victory in the 2024 election. Very strongly carried Travis County. And so sometimes people speak as though Austin's being politically transformed by Joe Rogan moving here and a number of other high profile figures like that. And maybe there's something to that, but I also think in some ways it's overstated.
Liberal Austin's embrace of YIMBYism, which stands for Yes in My Backyard, is part of what enticed Virani to move here. In San Francisco, the movement has struggled.
Yeah, I was actually quite involved in the YIMBY movement in San Francisco, but it's just been really hard to get liftoff in terms of getting new development. You did often see pushback against newcomers, right? You often saw people being like, well, what are you coming to San Francisco for? You're gentrifying the city. Do you really belong here? Should you really be here? What's really interesting in Austin is there is that, but there's much less of that. There's almost like an enthusiasm of come to Austin, we love having you. We want to embrace you and have you grow.
Virani has supported Republican pro-housing bills and Democratic candidates, such as City Council candidate Mike Siegel, a radical progressive on issues like climate action and union jobs. But he's a YIMBY on housing.
I certainly support the idea of making it less expensive to build housing.
I really respected the fact that he had a very pro-strong housing policy. And from his lens, he was doing it because he really valued how pro-housing can help those with less money.
He understood that if more housing is available, prices go down.
Exactly.
As residents spread out across the sprawling Texas landscape, landlords fiercely compete for their business.
You are super close to a lot of local restaurants, bars, the highways, everything's within.
Yasmin Acebo is an Austin realtor.
Again, we see some of the high amenities, such as we have a lot of inventory and not enough population to fill that inventory.
What are landlords doing to entice people? Like, what kinds of incentives are they offering?
They are offering things such as a few weeks free. The most I'm seeing is about 8 weeks free. Extra money on top of that, like a gift card of some sort, $600 extra. Wi-Fi included. The utilities are covered. It really just kind of depends what that property itself has to offer. Any new complex that you'll see in Austin should have the full set of amenities. It's almost like a whole clubhouse attached to your apartment living.
Oh my God, this brand new apartment in Austin, Texas. They have a basketball court, pickleball court, had a really good gym.
They have their own little coffee shop inside of the building.
Full-fledged gyms, multiple pools. This is a more family-friendly pool. This is the party pool. Conference rooms, obviously working from home has become significantly more popular, so we're seeing complexes cater to that demographic of people now. I really think that Austin wants to be at the top with the rest of the big trendy cities, such as Los Angeles, Miami, Chicago, New York. So having that living that's walkable to so many restaurants, gyms, community centers, I think that's the step that they're trying to take in that direction.
San Francisco and Austin represent two distinct paths: growth versus stagnation, markets versus government, protecting the interest of longtime residents versus welcoming new ones.
You look at City of Austin and you see a lot of really promising companies moving here. And you look at City of San Francisco and what you saw was this hippie community, but also an emergence of promising companies. Ultimately, that hippie community, artist community, young family community, they had to leave. When you only build 10 houses and you've got 20 people, ultimately the people who don't have resources, it's harder for them to make it. And so I think that Austin, we have a real opportunity to show that when you make room for everybody, we're actually going to be able to keep Austin weird.
Austin demonstrates what economists have known for centuries. If you build more housing, prices will come down. The question is, will older, more established cities like San Francisco catch on? Or will they continue to hemorrhage talent and shut the door to newcomers?
At the end of the day, no one moved to a city because of like, oh, here's the taxes, here's the cost of living. Like, there has to be artists here. There has to be good schools here and teachers that want to move here. There has to be restaurants that open up. And so, great, you have a city where tech workers can afford to live here and move here. But then why would you want to ever move here? Why would you want to invest in this city as an alternative to San Francisco or New York? So signaling to people like, yes, if you're an artist, we also want you here. If you are a restaurateur, we also want you here, right? If you work in the service industry, also please come here. And telling businesses like, yes, it makes sense to invest in here in the next 10 or 20 years, because we're going to keep working on making sure that Austin is affordable and vibrant and welcoming.